So has anyone got any thoughts on that?
Well, the prospect real quick about organizational capacity. I mean, we got to remember here that we can always change how the quote-unquote hierarchical structure is actually put forth. If we find out that, that the structure that we're putting up and, to try to reduce redundancy is actually causing harm and information to be getting to the places where it needs to be, we can always restructure. And I think that's something that really needs to be emphasized, that we can always restructure and it's never too late, so long as we actually catch it quick enough that this sort of structuralization is actually causing problems for information to be flowing through each, I don't want to say pyramid, but I guess you could say it, but yeah.
Why not just set up a system initially that works rather than have to wait to restructure?
I think what he's maybe saying is in the meantime it's working now, and we can restructure it when
Just
we
a
come to that.
suggestion.
Yeah, no, I hear you completely. I think it's definitely something we should keep in mind. I mean, on the wiki site we have a page which lists all the pirate pads. This is something I'll discuss with Rob and Bruce and anyone else who wants to become a more intensive, anyone who feels they can dedicate a significant amount of time to this project, and I'm talking about a few hours a week maybe, and doing more than just researching, then do get in contact with me through Facebook afterwards, and I can start, I don't want to say giving roles. At the end of the day it's your choice, but there's no real issue with having some form of structure with people having particular roles, because obviously this is such a huge project. Me trying to keep my head around all of it is just proving impossible. So yeah.
Hey, I wanted to just add about this. Currently, I see we're talking about how information gets pushed down. Something I'd like to see, and maybe in one of your videos, Miles, is to really encourage people to kind of empower themselves to, if they've got an idea, then it's it's there. They get started, straight away. They can actually start. And I think the index, what we're calling the index pirate pad, it might be a good idea to just use that as a to keep track of what article. It's purely a list of articles and who is currently working on them, so that everyone knows. It's like you were saying about redundancy. I think someone mentioned. So that everyone knows who to go to if they're working on a similar subject, or if there's a crossing of information.
Is there a way we can maybe have somewhere on the Facebook group a link that won't move to the index pirate pad, and just in the description for the Facebook group tell everyone that as soon as you make a pirate pad, please just list it on the index?
Yeah, I changed.
Maybe you could make an event that's like set to a date, because that'll just be right at the top on the right. That's just an idea.
Yeah, I agree completely. Because I've tried changing.
An event rather would be the best thing.
Isn't there an option on Facebook?
I'm not sure if it's on the group. All I was going to say for the fourth time was that I changed the description of the group, but that doesn't actually appear on the page. So event would work. I'll look at links. I'm going to have to look into the group because the format has changed recently. But yeah, we do need things at the top which will work for everyone. So yeah.
Something you're going to be able to do in one of your videos to kind of encourage people to just they can just start individually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm thinking of starting a new. Well, I can use my TZM 376 for doing more videos on this. I mean, the ones at the beginning are talking about the principles on each of these sections and how they're going to work. To what extent they empower people. There's always more you can do to empower people and inspire, because there are lots of people that will keep coming with not much confidence, going, oh, can I do this? Can I do that? And we just need to make people go, if there's something you're passionate about, go ahead and do it. That'd be great. And it's just actually, I want to go on to this problem. It was about Facebook chat. I'll talk about this now. There are some people that have been leaving the group already, and this is something that I've really got to address. There are people that have left already because they have felt intimidated that a lot of people have joined because of my YouTube videos, so they're not actually that well read up on the Zeitgeist movement or the Venus Project, but it doesn't mean that the concept of producing problems and solutions based on research cannot apply to them. They can still do it. And a lot of people said that when they ever were suggesting solutions, people were hitting hard constantly with Venus Project and Zeitgeist rhetoric in a way that kind of isolated them and made them feel that they were completely in a different realm, which is understandable because the Venus Project and Zeitgeist advocate stuff which is completely extreme compared to how people generally perceive life. And I just want to say now, and please do communicate this to anyone else on Facebook, on the group, whenever you see it, that if people are ever using the Facebook chat, just be nice, you know, be encouraging. I find so many members of the Zeitgeist movement, not saying they're anyone here, but who are just very, not arrogant, but condescending with their rhetoric, as if, you know, this is the level you should be at with understanding the world. You know, we just need to, and actually this is the whole, you know, fundamental point of this project. You know, if, for example, the extreme thing is, if someone thinks the Zeitgeist movement is a cult, and people hate me using this example because everyone hates people who think it's a cult, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because if that's what they perceive, then we've got to find a way of communicating to them. Loads of people are false members on Facebook. Please explain why. I don't know if you're going to type or talk.
Miles, I know you're saying about it being a cult and such, but really, wouldn't you agree it's just a combination of, people with lots of really strong opinions about it, and those are the people that are really big on the Zeitgeist movement, as opposed to the people that just seem to want to change the world and have some good ideas?
Perhaps. I mean, I think the cult thing is a question that's not really worth addressing in terms of does that mean we change the way we are. I think people with strong opinions in a way as if their ideas are bulletproof is quite a weird contradiction to the fact that the Zeitgeist movement and the Venus Project is, you know, you stand by something until it's proven not to be the case. You know, scientific research is always falsifiable. So I'm still waiting for this sneaky guy to talk about loads of people are false members on Facebook. But yeah, all I'm just saying is just be mindful of others. If people, you know, just be inspiring, you know, and inspire them to look into things. And furthermore, there are people that have been using Facebook chat just to have general conversation. It's okay to have general conversation, but you've got to remember, as soon as you type something like, hey, and how's it going, that gets sent to everyone, all 200 people in the Facebook group. A lot of these people that are on this group only want something to pop up when it's someone saying, I've set up a pirate pad, or would this make a good question? If you then find out it requires a long discussion, then do so through Facebook messages, because you can actually do it to a list of people and set up your own sort of chat ring. James Cush, is he the one? No. Who is James Cush? What was he doing?
He did some videos against the movement that were pretty nasty.
Yeah, he's basically one of those types of people who he started out with a blog calling us that we were somehow members of the occult, which is basically a series of esoteric, mystifying ideas with hidden knowledge and whatnot, calling us that. Then he went from that to calling us cult members or cult groups or whatever, in an attempt to do that. And he's just genuinely, completely and utterly belligerent. I wouldn't pay much attention to him, to be honest.
But he's not
bulletproof. You know, you don't get into emotional arguments. As soon as you detect that a debate online is becoming emotional, then detach from it. Switch off from it. Go and make yourself a cup of coffee. Chill out. Don't lose control of your emotions ever. Politicians never lose control of their emotions. When they do, they end up losing their career. That's what we are. We're selling the idea of a different way of engaging with our planet and everybody around us. We are politicians. You've got to be get used to this insulting sort of arrogant way of being spoken to, and people ridiculing you, because guess what? That's how every single blooming political movement has ever started.
Right, I'm just trying to work out from what you're saying, Sneaky. Was that a disagreement with the point I was making about being inspiring to people that are new, or the fact that we...
No. I totally agree with what you're saying, but what you've also got to be aware of is that there are impersonators that just do it just because they're trolls, and just because they're doing it for a bit of a laugh. You know, it's not necessarily that what you're seeing on a message board comes from a true zeitgeist movement. Just because they got zeitgeist in their name or whatever, they might just do it just to be doing research on this, so that they can take the mick or create problems or create aggravation just because they're bored. There's quite a few people like that, unfortunately.
No, I hear you completely. I agree. I guess I was wondering if this James Cush was actually in our group, but I don't believe he isn't, I've been told. I guess my point is, when doing pirate pads, which can be edited by everyone, this is why I've always had an issue with it. I think pirate pads should be posted on the Facebook group, even though it's a closed group. But as soon as they have actually quite a lot of information, Rob and Bruce and anyone else who wants to help them out with it need to get it onto the wiki site as soon as possible. And then we need to start implementing, which I think will be very soon, a process in which we have admins who, when stuff is changed to the wiki site, it has to be approved by 3 or 4 different admins to ensure that the content has been clarified. And then it just reduces the chance of stuff being sabotaged. Just to put things in like sort of layman terms, to give a really typical example, is you could have a really good pirate pad laid out with some good statistics, and all it takes is just one person to go in there and change a few numbers on the statistics, and those sort of sabotaged sort of things are a bit harder to detect. And you know, I'm not saying that it's going to happen. We just want to reduce the risks as much as we can. And James, go ahead.
Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, Miles, and I just thought about statistics. I agree those are hard to find the difference between unless you're knowledgeable about the specific subject. But I believe there is a way to read through the past revisions on the pirate pads. So for the admins, that would be to sort of work past this vandalism. I know it shouldn't be happening, but at least they can see what has been on and what is appropriate.
I agree completely. I guess it goes back to the philosophy of this project as well, about reactive measure versus finding the causes. If we can implement ways of reducing the chance of stuff happening in the first place, then that's what we should be doing. By all means, we can look at previous revisions, but do we really want to just have that expectation upon people? I think we should be ensuring that the methods of doing this, pirate pads, you know, when you set it up, put as much information as you can, put it on the group. A few days later, the guys come along, have a look, put it to the wiki site, and then actually say what needs finding out on the pirate pads for those particular things, and putting them to the top of the Facebook group. So yeah.
I would like to say hello to everybody. There is a thing that I'd like to talk about. We mentioned it very short, or not so short. The critique that you get from other people and everything. I'm quite new in the project. Believe in it really very much, and want to believe in it. Today I saw a video clip on